Hello guys, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We got some good news today coming from DJI. So when DJI released the Mavic Air 2, the big question that everyone had was it gonna be able to be controlled, or could you fly it with the DJI Smart Controller? Well, at the time of the release, that was not the case. And now with a firmware update to the DJI Smart Controller, you can actually use it with the DJI Mavic Air 2. So you ask, what's the DJI Smart Controller? Well, here's what the controller looks like. Those control knobs are detachable for easy transportation. It works with DJI's latest data transmission, which is OcuSync 2.0. And as you know, OcuSync 2.0 works in the 2.4 and 5.8 gigahertz section of the electromagnetic spectrum. It is fully switchable, and it would use any of those two channels. Transmission distances would go up to 10 kilometers, and it would transmit video in full HD at 1080p. Connections are usually very solid with OcuSync. If you've used your Mavic Air 2 with the controller that's shipped with the drone, you can testify to this. So what does this involve? If you have much older firmware on your DJI Smart Controller, then it is advisable to use DJI Assistant 2 installed on your computer, maybe your laptop or your desktop computer, to update the firmware. Otherwise, if you have a more recent firmware on your smart controller, then you can just download the update using Wi-Fi directly to the controller. Those with firmware ending in 0745 and prior have reported that they get a network error announcement when they try to use Wi-Fi to update their firmware in their smart controller. And the latest one ends in 0820. That's the latest firmware update for the DJI Smart Controller, which adds support for the Mavic Air 2. So this is a wonderful combination because you can use the smart controller with its Android operating system and actually add some different apps on there, which, for example, like Facebook and Instagram, would allow you to live stream video from your drone directly to social media. So this is a big win for everyone. As you know, the smart controller also has an HDMI port. It's got a speaker and it has a microphone. The best thing is, you have one very small package and you don't have to be dealing with a multitude of cables when you go to fly your drone. The screen is inbuilt in the smart controller. It looks very sleek, and you can remove the controls, like I said, to further reduce the profile if you have to travel with your drone and your smart controller in a backpack or something. So this is very good news, and people have actually been waiting for this for a very, very long time. It will make more people take their stuff out to fly, I think, because imagine you go out with your drone and you find out you brought out the wrong cable to hook it up to your smartphone, to go flying. So this is a big and huge plus from DJI to the droning community and those who already have the DJI Smart Controller, or the early adopters. Of course, it still works with the DJI Mavic Pro and some of the Phantom series drones. That is what it was initially used for, and adding that functionality to the Mavic Air 2 is really, really great. So the price point, I believe it's about 700 plus. So if you buy the combo, the DJI Mavic Air 2 and then the DJI Smart Controller, it will bring you up to about maybe $1,500 to $1,600 for that combination. But it's gonna really improve your workflow, in my opinion. I would rather have a dedicated controller for the drone than to have to be switching between my phone and the drone. So this is just an overview from the DJI website of the presentation of the Mavic Air 2. So it's a very high performance, even though it's classified as a consumer drone, but it does a lot of stuff that some pro level drones cannot. And it has a very long range, about 10 kilometers. And the great thing about this is with OcuSync, you can, most of the time, if it's you don't have too much interference, you would have solid 1080p video transmission, live video transmission back to your controller or your smart device. Further things about this drone is the great autonomy. It will stay in the air for 34 minutes. And it's also very stable. You know, the IMU that's inbuilt in the drone, even though it's not redundant, it's just a single unit, but it's very solid and robust. And even in very gusty situations, the drone seems to stay planted in the air. It's got sensors underneath, as you can see, in front and in the rear. It doesn't have sensors to the sides or to the top. And the props are easily removable. Some people leave the props on there when they fold the drone for transportation. Some others, they take off the props every time. So it's a very capable drone, and it lists for $799. So as you can see, this is what mine looks like, and you can see the arrangement. That's how I fly. It works, but it's just much nicer to be able to use something like the dedicated Mavic DJI Smart Controller. As you can see, this is in sport mode and nothing has been fastened. It's just how fast that drone can fly in sport mode. So I really love the DJI Mavic Air 2, and adding support for it with the DJI Smart Controller is a great decision that will be very helpful to the drone community and anyone who intends to upgrade their drone workflow. So I want to thank you all for watching, and that's what I had to share with you, that now you have support for the Mavic Air 2 on the DJI Smart Controller. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons below. Bye.